Congratulations, Jannik. Your thoughts on the championship match?
Yeah, amazing feeling. Obviously, it was a tough match. I felt like I was playing some good tennis from the back of the court, and yeah, so I'm happy about today's performance.
Thank you very much. One question each. We have a big room, English, and then we'll go to Italian. Questions? Russell.
Jannik, congratulations. Russell Fuller from the BBC. It's quite unusual to win a first and a second Grand Slam in the same year. So which of the successes did you find harder? Was it harder to win in Melbourne or harder to win here in New York?
I believe that you can't really compare them because it's different circumstances, different times of the year. I believe that in Melbourne was a kind of relief, because in my mind, it was like I was working for it, and you never know if you can win one Grand Slam or not. But when you win one, you know that you can do it potentially. Here was difficult because also the pre-tournament circumstances were not easy. I felt like that I've grown, match by match, and that my confidence level went higher and higher at some point. But it was different because I had maybe a bit more pressure this time than in Australia. So I'm happy how I handled this one, and I'm just excited to have this trophy with me.
Okay, Matt.
Hey, Jannik, Matt Futterman for The Athletic. Congratulations. When you mentioned the pre-tournament circumstances, was there a point during the past 2 weeks where you were really able to sort of leave that all behind and sort of move on from it in a way? And what allowed you to do that?
Well, what allowed me to do that was always the people who are close to me daily, people who know me already from when I was very young, and also my family and my team and everyone who supports me daily. And I always try to stick together with them, especially when the moments are getting difficult and tough, because I know that they can help me in these moments. And it was, and it's still a little bit in my mind. It's not that it's gone, but when I'm on court, I try to focus about the game. I try to handle the situation in the best possible way. Communication with the team in practice courts. At the end of the day, we always try to improve as a player. That's why we practice for, and so yeah, it was not easy, that's for sure. But in the other way, I try to stay focused, which I guess I've done a great job, also mentally staying there every point I play, and that's it.
Chris.
Jannik, congrats. Chris Otto with US Open. I just wonder how you feel about the fact that the Grand Slams in 2024 all went to you and Carlitos, and maybe the fact that the Big Three did not win a major this year for the first time in 22 years. Does it feel different to you now at these Grand Slams, given that?
Well, it is a bit different for sure. I mean, it's nothing new, but it's also nice to see. Nice to see new champions. Nice to see new rivalries. I always have players, and I will always have players who are gonna make me a better player, because there are gonna be times where they beat me. Then you have to try to find a way how to win against certain players. And also today we saw that not everything was perfect. I could have served a little slightly better, but this makes me realize that the work never stops. It's always a continue work, which at the end of the day, if you want to be a better player, you always have to work, and you have to have these daily routines, accept difficult times on court, and yeah, so it's good for the sport to have some new champions.
Young lady in the middle.
Jannik, you said on the court that it means so much because it hasn't been an easy period. I just wonder whether you could put into words how much you felt there's been a cloud hanging over you during the tournament.
During tournament?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Well, it's it's difficult to describe everything because me and my team and the people who are close to me, they know what I've been through in the last months. It was not only 1 week before the tournament; it was months. And in this moment, as I said before, I always try to close myself with people and understand also what happened, and then trying to accept it in a certain way. And when the work starts, I also try to enjoy. Obviously, it was very difficult for me to enjoy in certain moments. Also, how I behaved or how I walked on the court in certain tournaments before, it was not the same as I used to be. So whoever knows me better, they know that something was wrong. But during this tournament, slowly I restarted to feel a little bit more how I am as a person. Doesn't really matter how or what the result was. So this tournament for sure helped me a little bit, and yeah. So now it's good to have a small amount of time, a little bit off, and then to restart again from China.
Hey, Jannik, congrats. Giddy Nathan, Defector Media. You dedicated this title to your aunt. I was wondering if you wanted to share kind of the relationship that you have with her, or what role she played in your life.
Yeah, my aunt, she is a very important person because when my parents, they were working every day and all day. So sometimes when I had to go to ski races, I went with her. She always helped me in summertime when my parents were working and I had some days off or 3 days. When you're young, you don't go to practice every day. So I hang around a lot with her, and she's a very important person in my life. And this also, especially when I had this difficult time, I tried to see it in a different way. Sport, things can happen, unfortunately. But, the real life is something different. And, we travel a lot, so it's difficult to spend time with the people who you really love. But if I would have more time, for sure, I would spend more time with the people I really care. Was and is a really difficult moment also now, but just also have to accept that not everything is perfect.
Willie?
Jannik, you spoke about some of the challenges before this tournament and how you've dealt with them. How do you think you'll look back on this year, from the Australian Open to those challenges to winning the US Open?
Yeah, it was a great run overall. For sure, winning the first Grand Slam of the year gives you confidence. It gives you, good feelings. But in the other way, it's you always have to work. You have to. It never stops. It's like you always keep going, and until now, I didn't have so much time off to say, okay, you've done a great job. But it's also big thanks also to my team, because we always try some new things out. Tactically, how can you play better against certain opponents? How do you work on certain shots, whatever you feel better or not? I was a lot in the gym because I knew physically I still had to improve, and I still have to improve a lot. But this is all part of sacrifices you make for an eventual future. So we will keep working. I mean, it's in my mind. I know that I'm not perfect, and I will never be perfect. But we always try to evolve in my game, and then after my career, I can say, okay, I've done everything possible to be at 100%.
Okay, last question in English.
Jannik, Sebastian Varela for Clay. what do you think this title means for the tennis world, given the pre-tournament circumstances and all the reactions that have been in the tennis world?
What do you mean? I don't.
What do you think this title means, considering the pre-tournament events and all the reaction that we have seen in the tennis world?
I don't know. You have to ask all the other players. This I don't know. Well, that what I can say is that the general reaction of the players was quite positive. Even when the things came out, then there have been, of course, some different voices, but this is in everything. This is not only in tennis. This is in other sports and in different jobs also. I mean, you can't really do anything about that. It's that's why you have, as I said before, the people who are close to you. These are the people who knows what was going on and what I and my team went through, because it was not only me, it was the whole situation. And yeah, that's it. I mean, I just can talk from my side and from my team's perspective, and we are all very proud of this achievement.
All right, thank you, everyone. If you could just stay in your seats, please. We have a coach's presentation.
Hello. Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for a terrific 3 weeks plus a day, 2024 U.S. Open, and what a way to finish with Jannik Sinner as our men's singles champion. This is my last presentation for you today. You know, there's all these traditions, and this one, you talked about your team. So we have a smaller version of the U.S. Open champion for your coaches. Let's bring